Used to be when you heard about neck surgery or back surgery, it was a very invasive process. You'd have to go under the knife, very long recovery, and rather painful. I'm Jim Masters, reporting from Edison, New Jersey for Close Up on America's Business, and we're here at the offices of Atlantic Spinal Care. This is a practice that's using a fascinating procedure called endoscopic surgery. Let's find out what that's all about right now.
Endoscopic spine surgery is a new subspecialty of spine surgery. It bridges the gap between traditional open spine surgery and interventional pain management. Nowadays, the traditional spine surgery remains to be the standard treatment. Millions of patients with disc herniations and spinal stenosis have their back cut open every year. However, with the growth of endoscopic spine surgery, which is similar to arthroscopic knee and shoulder surgery, the current standards will change. Endoscopic spine surgery will soon become a new standard, and I'm proud to be the experienced surgeon in this field.
I was having a lot of pain down my left arm, my forearm, the back of my arm, my chest, and my back, shoulder blade, that area, and numbness and tingling in my left hand. I actually was home on disability because of this when I was recommended for an anterior fusion, a cervical fusion, and I went online to look up and see if there's any new things that can be done for this condition on the web. And I work in the medical field, and I know I work on the heart, and so a lot of things we do is through tubes, through percutaneous procedures. And so I thought there might be something out there, so I got to looking, and I happened upon Dr. Liu's website. So I sent him, they have a site there where you can email a request or a question, and I did, and I was very pleasantly surprised that they answered me the next morning by 7:30 in the morning, and gave me a free consultation, looked at my MRI, and that's the way it got started. If someone is on the fence out there and not knowing what to do, they should really look into getting this minimally invasive procedure done. It's very quick, very easy. You don't feel anything. You're sore after the procedure for a period of time, but it's worth it rather than going through life living in the pain like I was living in.
There's no compromise to treat, for endoscopic surgery to treat surgical condition. The goal is the same, to treat the surgical condition surgically, but the trauma is less because there's no bleeding, there's no muscle damage because we split muscle instead of cutting the muscle, and then patient recovery is much faster. Endoscopic surgery is obviously is very attractive for the patients.
One of the great things about endoscopic surgery is that you don't burn any bridges in the future, meaning if you end up needing a fusion later on, and the vast majority of our patients don't, but if you did need a fusion later on, that can still be performed. On the other hand, if you have a fusion procedure, it's done. Your only option at that point is to work on different areas of the spine. There's no real good way to address a post-surgical fusion. Once you've had a fusion, you're going to live with that forever, basically.
The way I found out about Dr. Liu is I found him on the internet, but I'd also done some other research over the past couple of years about this and other doctors, and I happened to like his technique. I just had a feeling, it was just a little just more detailed. I also like his approach. He tells me what he can do, what he can't do, and he's detailed. He's very much a perfectionist, and he's a very confident person of what he can do, and I think that shows in the results, what I've had done.
I was relieved of pain immediately, right after the surgery. I feel excellent. It's truly amazing. I did not think I would be able to feel this way this quick. I was able to walk to my car. The pain was relieved immediately. And I highly recommend this procedure before going under a knife. I've never went under for major surgery, but everybody tells me it's no fun. I will tell you this was not fun, but it was not that bad. There are many worse things out there. The pain I had prior to the operation was nothing. The operation was a walk in the park.
I came to Dr. Lou's office after I had several surgeons tell me I needed to put rods in my back. I wasn't too comfortable with that, and I met Dr. Lou, and he knew the problem, and he diagnosed the problem, and then I was comfortable with him. Well, I had my surgery about a week ago, and I'm feeling much better. I was not comfortable with the other surgeons' diagnosis and their procedures, and Dr. Lou was very honest with me, and he did this type of procedure before. So I felt comfortable with him, and I'm getting better. The rod situation was not something I wanted to get into with the other surgeons, so he was my last resort and best resort.
When they scheduled my operation here, I had to be carried in. I could not walk. And they carried me in, and we went through whatever we did. And when it was finished, the nurse said to me, come on, get dressed, go take a walk, and the doctor wants to talk to you. I said, what, are you crazy? He said, I'm not. How can I walk? I said, she says, come on, you can do it. And I just laid there. And I actually got dressed and walked off the table. I had an emotional experience. I hugged Dr. Lou. I thought he must have thought I was nuts, you know. But it was amazing because I actually had to be carried in here. I could not walk. And then I was able to walk right out of here.
Failed back syndrome is a big problem. And when you've had a surgery and things don't go well, who failed? Was it the patient that failed? Was it the doctor that failed? Was it just the situation that failed? And there's probably a whole host of answers to that question. But traditionally, people with failed back surgery are left with very little options. They're left with options like inserting a spinal cord stimulator into your spine with a battery pack that you have to wear for the rest of your life, which is not a really attractive option. However, with the endoscope, and going in through a small incision and visualizing everything, we find many times that scar tissue is a big problem. And it's built up in and around the nerve. It's caked onto the nerve, such that when we go in, you can barely even move the nerve. But you know what? By the time we're out, we're done, we're on the way out, the nerve is moving freely. And it's a very gratifying situation because the patient is awake. They are a part of the surgery, so they're gratified. They feel like they've benefited and helped themselves and helping you, showing you where the pain is. And the majority of patients on the table will tell us that their pain in their limb, their leg or their arm is gone. And there's nothing more rewarding than that.
It's an amazing process to see through how advanced endoscopic surgical procedures, Atlantic Spinal Care is restoring good health and a sense of well-being to thousands of patients throughout Greater New York and the entire country. In Edison, New Jersey, I'm Jim Masters.